What's going on, everyone? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. So glad we are here together. Looking forward to another great session with you all. My favorite part of the day as well. Really looking forward to this one. We got Bitcoin on our mind, no doubt about it, but we are going to be taking a look all across the markets. We're going to be taking a look at all of these pairs that we flagged yesterday. We're going to see what has transpired. We're going to be looking for new setups today. We're going to be checking out what's going on over on the DXY, now unchanged after moving down, backing off. We'll be looking at the indexes, looking like they're ready to break out. The question is, how could stocks keep going up? Right? QE is asset inflationary. And they're going to continue that QE. They're going to be extending that program. Are there risks to the market? Of course. There are enormous risks. We're not going to be talking about those risks today because right now, that's not what's going on. But there are enormous risks. Be careful out there. One of those risks, by the way, though, and just be aware, be careful of it, is that August 14th deadline. I know people don't like to talk about it, but the truth is it's still a market risk. If you think that the markets, and I don't necessarily, but if you think the markets here are pricing in a Biden win, well, then that's a huge risk if that changes. You saw that the votes in Michigan were not being authorized yesterday. It's a wild card. We're going to make sure we're aware of it, regardless of the headlines are talking about it or not. We are seeing Pfizer in the headlines today, right? That's what the headlines are showing us. Vaccine. By the way, big win for Denmark. Denmark, after 9 days of protests of mandatory vaccines, mandatory forced vaccines, was able to go ahead and get that denied. We got to stand up for freedom. So we got to applaud those that do stand up for freedom. Let's get a like for that. Plan B. This is a great tweet I saw this morning. Did I say, sorry, Greg. Greg said that I said December 14th. I said August 14th. I have no idea why I would even say August. But yes, December 14th. Thank you for that correction. Boom. Plan B. Look, listen to this tweet. I want to read it with you. It's so important. A big difference with 2017. By the way, 2017, a lot of, not Plan B. A lot of Bitcoiners are getting confused with the current move in the market with 2017. 2017 is compared to 2021. It's a 4-year cycle. We're not into the big move yet. This is just a baby move, right? It's 2021. A lot of people don't understand why Google searches for Bitcoin are not high as they were in 2017 because we're not in 2021 yet. Nevertheless, most Bitcoin sold today. Listen to what he's saying here. A big difference is most Bitcoin sold today will never see daylight again. They disappear into deep cold storage. Buyers today are professionals with long-term vision and staying power. Michael Seiler of MicroStrategy is a great example that Bitcoin has been buried for over 100 years. So pay attention. It is a huge difference, which brings us to the question, by the way, this is what we'll start with, right? Are we going to have 20% drawdowns in this cycle and no longer 30% drawdowns? Because right now there's more institutions, there's more public companies, there's more central banks, Iran, buying Bitcoin. So therefore, will we have less of a drawdowns? It's on everyone's mind, right? Have you thought about it? Listen, I don't think so. I am on the record that the volatility is going to be extreme. And because it's going to be extreme and mostly to the upside, it's going to cause massive volatility to the downside. I think last night, overnight, was a great reminder of that. You could see over here, Bitcoin started humming as soon as Asia opened, it was up almost 4 or 5%. And then in 1 hour, you had almost 7.8% drawdown. Now, that's not 30%. That's not anywhere close to 30%, but that was just in 1 hour. That wasn't most of the drawdowns last from days to longer. This was just 1 hour. Do I think we're going to have 30% drawdowns? Absolutely. I stick by them. If you want to front run them, by the way, ooh, look at this. Look at that, Henry. If you want to front run the 30% drawdown, maybe your tolerance is 25%. I don't know. Maybe it's 15 to 20, but I do think we're going to have those 30% drawdowns. By the way, if we had a 30% drawdown right now, that would take us to about 12,000, I think 800. Let's check it out. Just be aware. And the reason I'm going to do this from time or frequently is so that if you should have your orders in. If you're looking to buy the first pullback to 30%, you should start placing your orders in here and keep adjusting them, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly or whatever it is, because the fact is that it's not like price is going to be hanging out there for a while and you're going to have time, oh, let me go ahead and buy that Bitcoin. It's down 30%, because every other astute trader out there, every trader who understands what's going on, who understands what's happened in the past performance is not indicative of future results, but we all know there seems to be a big pattern here. That's how I called right here, 18,000, right? That's how I got it. So, nevertheless, I digress. Let's go. Have your orders in. Have your orders in. That's a good way to do it too, right, Gary? Or 15%, right? 10% might be a little shy, but have your orders in at different levels. That's a great way to do it. There's many ways to skin a cat. That's one of them. Right. That's why I'm talking. I mean, this seems to be the topic of discussion. A lot of people think the cycle is lengthening, and a lot of people think that the drawdowns are going to be less and less. I think that's misinformation. I don't think that's correct whatsoever. By the way, over here, you can see Preston. Preston's a great follow. I like Preston. What he puts out, he seems like a good guy. Look, he says exactly, these coins are being purchased by institutions with 5-year strategic outlooks. They aren't Joe the trader counting to 9 and drawing lines. I think that was a dig at Tony Vase, with his 9 sequential hyperwave BS. But anyway, by the way, Ray Dalio, this is pretty awesome. He says that he might be missing something as Bitcoin when it comes to Bitcoin. And listen, there's nothing that's great. As a trader, as a person, as an individual, there's nothing wrong with admitting you're wrong. Actually, that's a great character trait. And not only that, all of us should always be seeking only to know what the truth is. It doesn't matter if our thought or opinion was correct or not. We only want to know what the truth is. Anytime I'm proven wrong, I'm happy, because then I understand something more clear. Oh, look at this. Look, Michelle, Kelvin Chan, thank you for your signal yesterday. I got some QBTC first time. Awesome. That's Traders Top and Tradables. QBTC is actually it's not an ETF. It's kind of like Grayscale over in Canada tracking Bitcoin, and it is a great way to play in the public markets Bitcoin. All right, let's keep going. BC. So, I mean, I'm under the opinion. Oh, by the way, Alan was on fire sharing some stuff this morning. You know what? I need to present it to you all. Yesterday, on Twitter, I posted a chart about Ethereum, what happens at this point in the cycle with Bitcoin. I'm not going to get into it in this session. I don't even know if you all want to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum and crypto. You want to get right into the markets. But nevertheless, I'll try to prepare it ahead of time so I could talk about what exactly was happening because we're right here right now. I want to talk about what was happening with Ethereum and then what happened to Ethereum between here and here, right? Because this is where Ethereum goes bonkers, right? And he was also showing us this morning, Alan was showing us the Bitcoin dominance right now, which it continues to rise, and then showing how Ethereum Bitcoin was currently at a trendline support. Could we be seeing right now a bid into Ethereum? I want to present it to you well with all the information from my Twitter and then the Telegram group. Brandon was the one who pointed out to me, no, Jordan, it wasn't in this first test of the all-time high. It was as Bitcoin made its second all-time high that Ethereum rocketed. So I want to bring that up with you for sure. I do too. But we have everyone who wants to talk about everything. And look, there's not much else to add to the conversation today, but that's something important once I get to lay that out for you. Definitely. And by the way, the Conquering the Markets Telegram group is absolutely astonishing. What a fantastic place. I'm grateful for all of you and the conversations that take place. I mean, all as I see is retail traders buying Ethereum. Bruce. I mean, that's what I see. I don't, right? I have a very small position. I'm a Bitcoin guy, but I see lots of crypto Twitter that are heavily involved in Ethereum. And for sure, I'm middle aged now, right? I'm middle aged, and it seems to be definitely the younger, stronger generation looking for Ethereum. And by the way, I always think that youth is king. You always have to pay attention to what the youth is paying attention to, for sure, right? Otherwise, you get left behind. Yeah. So let's keep going. Keep going. Right on the same page. Yeah, we do, but a lot of people don't, right? Alex, this is right now, the markets would be preferable. We all know Bitcoin has entered the bull market. Right. All right. So this will be a good segue into the rest of the markets. But let me just listen. There's going to be a lot of people throughout the bull market phase. And I've said this before. I said this in the 3 ways to trade Bitcoin and in that video. And the reason that I pointed out in the first way is the easiest way and probably the best way for many to trade it is because a lot of people, even though it seems very easy, are going to lose money trading Bitcoin during the bull market phase. It seems easy to you. It could be because we're doing this together and you got it seems easy when you have the roadmap. It seems easy when you have the roadmap, but a lot of people are making lots of mistakes. Jordan, do I believe? No, I never said it. In the last bull market phase, we had 39% pullback. The rest were around 30%. I don't think in 35% pullbacks. I'm looking for 30% pullbacks. Now, does that mean that I might start scaling in at 25%? Probably, regardless. Do I think that we're going to have pullbacks that are limited to 25%? I do not. I think that we have 30% pullbacks in this phase over here. Let's check out the chart, by the way, because Alan shared it this morning. I have to look at the chart Alan shared with me. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Right, here it is. I think this is what Alan was showing, by the way. And then I want to see that fallen wedge, and we're going to add to it. I don't have Alan's chart. I want Alan's chart. I'm just kind of freeballing it over here. But then over here we got Bruce. No, it wasn't Bruce. Who just pointed at Matthew Heller. What's up, my brother? Great to see you. Always the greatest joy. Matt is the greatest kid that's ever lived. Simply, period, the end. Look, this looks like a fall. Let me fix that out. This looks like I missed the name. I'm sorry, brother. Whoever said that looks like a fallen wedge here on Ethereum, Bitcoin, and it absolutely does. That also goes ahead with this trend line we got over here. Could Ethereum be getting ready for a big move and bringing the alts with it? I do think so. You all know I'm a Bitcoiner, but I think we're going to have alt season. I think alts are going to pump. Whether or not it's going to be today or within the next couple of weeks, that I don't know. But I do believe, and we're going to get into that in tomorrow's session, after Bitcoin goes ahead and has that first 30% pullback, and then raws out of it, I think that's when alts are going to begin flying. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Glenn. I'm glad I got to see that. That was an important video. It needed to be said. I try to always be humble, for sure. You have to be, otherwise the markets will humble you. But, sometimes certain things need to be said. That's all. So, where else? Link is appreciating versus... Let's get into Link. I guess we're going to finish crypto before we get into everything else. Chainlink yesterday broke through the important barrier over here, which is trading at right now at $13.25. I'm probably going to come down to a 1-hour chart over here because what we're seeing over here is this. This is the level that I was waiting for. I'm going to go ahead and I can't flip it until the close. That was the one, right? For a while, I kept saying, look, if we break above 1292, it looks like we're going to fly and be targeting something much higher, targeting towards $16, $15.80, and as high as, $17.30. But, that didn't happen, and the market kept getting rejected over here at $13.25. So I realized, I'm wrong. Nothing wrong with admitting you're wrong. And then we moved that up. We broke out last night with authority, right, up to $14.25, and then have pulled back into it. A resumption off here looks entirely healthy. Looks like a great place, actually, to get back into this trade over here if you're not in it yet. That's my opinion. I'm already holding. Let me go ahead and just get ready. I feel a little, there we go. Where are we now? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I have no idea. I think Ethereum, I think Chainlink are going to go way higher than where I sell them at. That's fine with me. I'm perfectly comfortable with that. I have no idea how to pull a price target on Chainlink, like $50 or $100 or $1,000 or anything. I have no idea how to price it, right? I can price Bitcoin. That Bitcoin is the only market that you never see me go ahead and go. You ever notice on gold? Because people put out price targets on gold. Gold is going to be at $5,000 and how do you do that? I don't know. I have no idea. Like the supply of gold is variable, right? Maybe miners pull out 2% this year. Maybe they pull out 1%. Maybe they discover an asteroid. Maybe they discover a new mine. I have no idea how to price it or what the future price might be. But with Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin is the only instrument that it's possible to do, is possible to have this. Well, there you go, 18,000, right? Yes, I know I was off by what was I off by about 11 days, or it was at the end of the year I said it. Either way, right? We got it. So what else? Me too, Rob. Me too. All right. Let's look at the indexes. Let's start here with the S&P 500. All right. We got right now a couple of things going on. So one thing I'm trying to fight here, I have something in me that is contrarian. I'm trying to fight it. At the same time, I'm trying to listen to it. That's the struggle of a trader, huh? So I feel like technically here, and with the exception so far of the Nasdaq, all three indexes, well, I say three. Look, the three major indexes are the S&P 500, the Dow, and the Nasdaq. The Russell right now, the Dow and the S&P are all confirming bullish technical price action. The Nasdaq is on the verge, but not showing it, right? We're seeing all of this positive news from vaccines being held onto and priced in by the market. We're seeing also the Federal Reserve getting ready to extend the duration of QE. All of these things. And by the way, people are wondering, how could the markets keep going up? Well, QE is asset inflationary. The money's got to go somewhere. If the banks aren't lending it, it finds its way into housing. It finds its way into stocks. This is what's happening. This looks very bullish still. And by the way, we have that nice little, look at that right now. That's nice. Hold on one second. Let's draw this in. That's nice. That's nice. Breakout above there, or retest the resumption. That will give a nice clear signal. Do you see how that do you see that little bit of local resistance right there? Now flipped into support. It's all bullish price action. Something in me feels like something's gonna go differently. But anyway, let's keep looking. So look, S&P 500 completely bullish, right? If it breaks out above here, maybe I'm gonna get involved then. I will let you know when I'm picking out my spot. And remember, it's been a while, right? It's been since October that I picked my last spot, but it was a good spot. Here we go. And I think, by the way, this warning I gave, do you remember the whole market over here was going so bearish? Everyone thought we were crashing. We were going into the risk event, the election. And I was like, do not sell over there. I didn't pay attention. All right, let's go. Let's see what's going on with the NASDAQ this morning. If you are enjoying this session, I feel like we're down on likes, 300 likes. Let's go ahead and smash that like button over here. If you're new here, welcome. Glad you're here with us. Do subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of good stuff going on over here. You have just stumbled across an oasis of goodness. Say, Rob, that's awesome, brother. Glad we worked together like that. Not just you, almost the whole market at that point was uber bearish, right? And I said, listen, I'm not buying. It could go up. I'm not saying it's going up. And it went up. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't know it was going up. I said, even if it does, I won't buy it. But the risk to reward selling here, that's dangerous. Do not do that. That's all. The market orders indicate a couple of weeks of bull. I mean, it's seasonally a bullish time of year. It's seasonally a very bullish time of year, right? I don't have a book I would love is the Trader's Almanac, right? I haven't heard about it in a decade, but the Trader's Almanac, I would love to know right now, Thanksgiving week in the US, I'm sure that the market is historically up during that period. Nevertheless, we're going to follow what's going on in the charts. Waiting here for the Nasdaq to confirm this move. Waiting. By the way, on the S&P 500, I've stopped my lines over here. Right? The line's going back from here to here. Now we had this big consolidation pattern and broken out to the upside. I'm not focused on those trend lines at all anymore. Just a note to all of you so you know what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. Nasdaq waiting over here for this to break above, hoping it'll break above. If it doesn't, right, and then we see the S&P and the other indexes fall down and get below this, I think that Jordan is going to be attacking to the downside. What I mean by attacking to the downside is looking for a sell, right? This will be a false break. Right now, it's not looking like that, but it's all entirely possible. Let's look at the DXY. Is a little difficult right now. I'm going to start on the daily time frame right now, and we'll just take a look at it. And it seems to me that this 5 days in a row of downward price action, taking out this area of support, closing below it yesterday, but it all seems very controlled. Right? What do I mean by that? Like, we're not having, look at these price bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that's falling, right? This is like, it's not really convincing to me. So I'm unconvinced. That's all I could say about the DXY. I remain unconvinced. Now, how will the market react I don't know when the meeting is. Let's find out when the meeting is. Let's move to December, right? And let me see when the FOMC is meeting. That's the ECB. So next week will be the FOMC. It's the week before Christmas, right? Is it possible that around this time that the dollar sells off? Or is it possible that the ECB eases over here and that puts a bid into the dollar? I don't know. In even talking through it just now, I mean, a lot of people have been saying that for a long time. So the price action is not showing any bullish signs right now of a bullish DXY. And actually, if Georgia turns blue, if Biden becomes sworn in January the 20th, I think that we're going to see a massive move against the dollar. So it's an ongoing situation. Hard Forky, why did I stop following those lines? I mean, let me talk about that 1 second. And so PS, if the market shows me at any point that, wait, those lines are being respected, then we'll bring them back into play. I won't be extending them anymore. The reason I stopped was because of this breakout here of that trend line over there. We were in that triangle over here. We broke out above it. If I just extend these lines, I don't think that they're being followed anymore. Right? Look at this one right here. Is it? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not following them. I'm not looking to follow them. And it was because we've entered a new phase, in my opinion. We've entered a new phase. Like this over here, this was the crash, and then this was the recovery, and it was this huge channel, right? It was this huge channel. And now, market set up over to here. By the way, thanks for that thumbs down. It's always nice to stand out from the crowd. Get on you. Look at this. And then with market put in this pattern over here. We didn't know if we were going to break up or down, but we broke up. It's a new day. It's a new day. We've passed this whole period. I think. I don't know. That's what I think. Let's keep going. They were a bit forced. Do you think so? So yeah, he thinks they were a bit forced. I think they provided me an app. So By the way, so this, by the way, look, first of all, this was my best trading all year with the exception, that's good, man. You can feel important. That's good. With the exception of the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, Japanese yen trades during this period, this was my best trading all of year. I caught the bottom and then sold out after like 250 S&P points, thinking, yeah, this was the hardest point for me to trade all year, right in here. I didn't know if the market was going up or down from here. That was the hardest point. But my lines, which seemed forced from then on, provided me the who traded it better. If that, David, you think it was forced, but who traded this whole period better? Because the quote unquote, macro professionals sure didn't. They thought we were going down test the lows the whole time, right? So anyway, I disagree with you strongly. It's not forced. That's what it is. That's masterful. That's not forced. That's a masterpiece right there. I understand. Like, you could look at art and some people can't get it. That's for sure. Am I following the Nasdaq trend lines? New trend lines are respective of PX expended. Awesome. Am I following the Nasdaq trend lines? Right now, all I'm following on the Nasdaq is this pattern that, like, all I'm following right now at this moment is this line right over here. I'm seeing if this holds as resistance after the false breakout or we break above it. That's the only thing right now that I am following. If we're rejected here, this line over here is going to become the important line for me. Yep, the support over here, that's in play. Horizontal support and resistance, always in play. But if we're rejected, then I'm going to be watching this line over here on the Nasdaq. I'm not watching these lines over here right now. No. What are my thoughts on Tesla? That historically, after something is added to the S&P 500, I'm not up to date on the date that it's added. It's December 10th. I'm not sure about that. Someone probably, anyone who has the date, please clarify for all of us. But historically, after something is added to the index, that is its near-term top. Do I think that this will be anything different? I do not. No, I'm not following the megaphone lines on the S&P 500. It's too broad stroke for me. I'm a swing trader. I focus in on the 8-hour time frame. I think that I have much more precision than I would be if I were following those megaphone lines. That's all. December 21st, Danielle in. Tesla December 21st is being added. I think that's when we will see a near-term top in Tesla. And then, I don't know how you could do the research. I don't know how far that near term. When I say near term, I should be saying intermediate term top. Let's move over to gold, right? I hear gold is a sell. I don't think gold is a sell. I think gold is in a bull market. But technically over here, we don't have any bullish signals whatsoever. We're below this area of support flipped into resistance right now and caught between that area of horizontal support. Actually, you're in no man's land all day long. So gold continues not to be exciting. We spoke about it before it happened. We spoke about it here, and I was saying that a lot of gold investors are going to be flipping to Bitcoin right now because they know how to read charts and they see what's going on. That is happening big time, right? Now, I'm still a gold guy. I like gold. There's a great possibility as I position out of my Bitcoin trade that a portion of that will go into Pax Gold, the digital gold backed by physical gold. We'll see what happens. But right now, until gold breaks back above bullish technically, because it is fundamentally in a bull market. Why? Well, what's happening to fiat? Well, I don't know. It's being devalued. Oh, what is the Fed doing? Oh, they're expanding their balance sheet. Oh, what's the U.S. government doing? They're going into massive debt. Oh, that seems pretty bullish for gold. Yeah. What's going on with the economy? Oh, nothing's looking good there. Yeah. But right now, technically, we need to fix ourselves before we look to participate over there. Silver still looks better than gold. Breakout, retest, trying to resume up. By the way, you got to take out that last swing high. Right? Got to take out that last swing high at 26. That remains. A good look at silver right now. And I want to show you something that's going to help you understand what I see and what's going on. All right. Right now we had the breakout, the retest, but we have not yet resumed up, right? Look at, remember Bitcoin over here? Going back over here. This is, by the way, right here is where we are right now on silver. We had the breakout, then the retest, and then we didn't still take out that high. We were right here. We didn't know what the next move was going to be. And then once it took out the high, then it flew. Now look at silver. Same exact situation. That's where we just were. That was the high, right? We don't know where it's going to go. But when it takes out that new high, that's the move to get involved. If you haven't yet hit the like button, no. Don't, listen, I don't take anything personal. We're one love for sure. That's all. But if a point is brought up, I'm just responding to the point, right? And articulating it. That's all. Yep. Kipping, ripping the euro versus Japanese yen. Let's make our segue into FX. Before we get into yesterday's setups, I finally put on a trade. Let's look at euro, Japanese yen, right? And the euro keeps ripping versus the yen. So, by the way, look at this. That looks like a break outside that little bit of channel to the downside, right? So, by the way, I just pay attention really quick. Do you see I'm having trouble like getting the angle right here? So, do you know what I do? I then go up here and I try to find the angle, right? And then I clone it. Oh, we froze. We froze 1 second. I don't know if you could hear me or not. Just be with me 1 second. There we go. Back to it. There we go. I'm going to clone this. I probably need to restart my computer. And I put it down there. Oh, we're still. So that was good I did that. Because we're still towards the bottom end of. I thought we broke down. But we're still towards the bottom end of that channel over there. And into some local support. Do you see it over here? Do you see it? It's not even local. It's a little bit more than local. So that's interesting right now. If I would be taking a little bit off of profit if I was into this trade right now on the short side. But you notice how when I couldn't find the angle, what I did was I looked for where it was clearer and then cloned it, and that helps me. That's a little bit of trick. That's a little bit of a trick. Yeah, pound Canadian dollar. Let's jump over to there. I'm glad you said, oh, by the way, this is taking off right now here for an entry. I was looking at this a little while ago because this is not the trade I took. And wait, I can't even find it. I was looking at this just recently, and this was a down candle. There it is, right? And this is resuming off right now, giving a signal. All right. Oh, by the way, Iran, just really, really quick. I think that's a psych op. I think that's a psych op, personally. I know how to read. Thanks for being here, Chronic. I know how to read. It's like I lived another life in the Soviet Union, and understand how to read that propaganda. But the whole situation with Iran was a psych op. It's a psych op. Don't believe any of it. There's no question about it. Trump was a president of peace. Anyone whether you like him or not, that doesn't matter. Facts are facts. He's the first president in my lifetime who did not go to war. He avoided wars. That's a psych op. Understand that the government does psych ops against all of us. I don't care if you're rooting for gold. I don't care if you're rooting for purple. I don't care if you're rooting for red. I don't care if you're rooting for yellow. It's us versus them. They do psych ops against you. So what else do we got? Pound Canadian dollar looks entirely bullish over here. You're not out of the woods by any means. What do I mean by that? Look, this is not clean over here, but this is not clean by any means. So, by the way, what would be clean? I can't make it clean because it's not clean. But is this an opportunity? Right over here, you can see the triangle. Notice this and notice this, which again could lead to that. Greg pointed out he has much more success with horizontal support and resistance than he does trend lines. Nevertheless, I see this big triangle, right? And I see a possible breakout, retest, and resumption off happening right now. What else? I'm gonna go to the one that was fancy of. This was the Euro New Zealand dollar. I'm gonna start with the ones that we had flagged yesterday, and you could see. By the way, does that need to come down or is that going to be flipped? We were looking at this one together and we were saying, yep, we're definitely in a downtrend. We had pulled back into that resistance and now resuming off of that resistance. New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. This one looks interesting. You could play the horizontal support over there. You see us resuming off with an entry, but you also see possibly what looks like a descending wedge falling, a descending wedge forming. Whether it is or not, it's a little too soon. But either way, without the descending wedge in there, you do see this. You do see this over here, and you can see that slope, that trend line slope. So a breakout above that should send it. So that's up to you, you know, where you're putting your stop loss. That's up to you where you're putting stop loss. Beautiful news. You know, what are the options here? Is this support over there? Is that a good area of support? Right? It's a decent area. You can see the over here where it acted as support and then it directly acted as resistance, right? Or you know, you could go with the tight stop loss right below that a couple hours ago, that low, or you could go below this area of support. Whichever one you pick and or choose. Thanks for the thumbs down. I do appreciate it and see why you would do that. Whichever one you choose, you have the same risk on that trade, right? So a lot of traders, they tend to go with a tighter stop loss, believing that they have the potential to make more money if the trade goes in their favor. But what happens is they actually have a way higher percentage of being stopped out, and the thing that they're trying to achieve, the higher profit, actually doesn't happen, and they end up with lesser profit. So just be aware of that. Trading is funny. It's almost like everything that a human is ingrained to believe, right? You're always trying to pick bottoms. You're always trying to sell tops. Is the opposite. You're always cutting your winners short. Cutting your winners short, right? No, you got to cut your losers short. You got to let your winners run. I don't care if people give me a thumbs down or a thumbs up. To be honest, it's all the Google algorithm. They view it the same. It's interaction with the channel. I could care less. But I understand the quality of the content. Not look, you can't put a value on it, right? So if someone's out there playing themselves, then I'm just gonna give it to them. That's all. No, I don't ever call out the positions I'm in. Absolutely not. I don't do that because then instead of you learning how to trade, you're going to be trying to find out what I'm in, and you're never. That's a disaster. There's no way you'll ever be a profitable trader doing that or making money. No, I don't do that on purpose. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, James. So I'm grateful for it. You know, if you want to be a sucker, be a sucker. Thanks, brother. Thanks for the love and the thumbs up. Get me ramped up. The thumbs up get me ramped up, not the Google algorithm. They help me really get into that flow, so I do appreciate that. I don't look, Andre. I don't analyze GBTC. First of all, I don't understand the premium. I don't talk about things. And by the way, Andre, good to see you. We haven't seen you in quite a while. Great to have you back. Nice going on your Tesla, 300% up on that trade. That's a phenomenal. Look, I don't understand the premium on GBTC, so I can't talk about it. And I own GBTC, and I own it as like to play the whole cycle, right? So I'm focused on what's going on with Bitcoin. And like yesterday, I took a tiny piece off before the market closed. How sad is it that the public markets close, right? So I had to take a little bit a profit on GBTC, and you know, I own it, I trade it, but I own it. I never looked at a chart of GBTC. I look at the chart of Bitcoin and play it off that. So, what else we got going on? Dean, I think word peace means a lot more than not starting a war. Starting a war is like the biggest offense to the word, but you don't start ignoring peace at the moment bombs drop. Yeah, I guess we should be looking at what happened in the Middle East, right? I think we should be looking at like what I mean. Can you imagine how often is that in the media? Can you imagine the peace that has been brought to the Middle East, the peace that has been brought to the Korean Peninsula? Unprecedented in our lifetimes. That olive branch that has been brought to the world in these last 4 years. You're right. We should start speaking about peace in terms of not actually dropping bombs, but in the peaceful arrangements that have been made. Great comment, Dean. I absolutely agree with you. Right, JC is the only way to do it. Thank you, BB2 Boomer. God bless you too. I definitely thank you so much. Thank you for that. I loved all the comments yesterday on the YouTube video in the afternoon. They were extraordinary. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Someone yesterday in the Telegram group is like, "Oh my gosh, we gotta all get Jordan something." I was like, "Absolutely not. My joy comes from seeing all of your success. My joy comes from seeing all of your success, and happiness comes from building up those around you. It's a pleasure to see the what is going on in this community. So thank you. So what Litecoin we could look at, but I'm not, tomorrow we're going to be looking at, by the way, tomorrow we're going to be looking at altcoins. We're going to be specifically through Ethereum. I'm going to show you what's going on exactly at this point in the cycle 4 years ago with Bitcoin, how that related to Ethereum. We're going to look at the Bitcoin dominance. All alts are similar. The way that we look at the indexes on the equity markets, and if you're trading individual stocks, it's best to see what we're doing with the indexes and trade around that with the individual stock that you believe has the highest potential. Is the same thing with altcoins. I don't look at individual altcoins like that, but find out what we're doing on the greater level and trade around that. But you notice this beautiful symmetry that you're seeing on Litecoin? Look at these consolidation periods over here, these downward sloping consolidation periods, and then the legs up. That's what you should be tracking and looking for on Litecoin right now, right? Look at that. It's all very beautiful. It's all very, very beautiful. Yeah, that's true. That's awesome, Art Tart. Thank you for that. That's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pleasure to see. Same thing, 777. It is the community. You guys are, it's just, look, thank you, Dewey. When I see, thank you very much. So listen, if you go to the YouTube channel, if you go to I want to share this with you before I get right back into the markets because it's important to me. I want to share what's important to me with you. So let me do that. And if I go to the About channel, and if you ever read this, ultimately my goal is to help as many people around the world live better lives. That is forever been my goal, right? So I take great joy when people say, things like it's beautiful. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that back with me. And it's beautiful. Yep, is doing a lot of nothing. WTI. Let's move over to WTI right now. What's going on over here? Right? It looks good to me. All I could say. Excuse me. Let me retrace that a little bit. I don't know anyone who would want to be invested in oil right now, right? Because it seems to me there are a lot better places to put your money, right? But however, I do notice that for this pattern developed, this channel, we've now broken out, retesting it, and I've been saying now that it looks like the market wants to break above 4280, and that's what I see happening. And that's all. I don't know how much of a follow through that you could expect, right? Let's look at that. And there's some pretty right above it at 44.86 is some pretty decent resistance. I don't know if we go higher than that. And then I think if we were able to make it towards $50, that's really big resistance up there. So either which way. Yeah, and Kips, you were playing that, huh? Both sides. Yeah, there's a lot of money it's easy to recognize sideways markets. What comes to mind is it the euro Australian dollar? Well, yeah, that's one of them. It's easy to recognize sideways markets, and you could buy up support and sell off resistance in a sideways market. It's not my style. It's not what I do. What's that? There's a great forum that takes place in Canada. It has to do with miners. Cambridge, the Cambridge. I like that YouTube channel. I've seen a lot of great videos on there. Enjoyed the discussions that take place during that conference. I love the whole like inside Canadian thing they got going on over there. Thank you, Mr. Loss. Let's change that to Mr. Gain. Mr. Gain, like to hear that. Bitcoin we covered in the beginning very thoroughly. That's awesome. That's so important over there. I love the avatar, by the way, of the bull and the bear. I love the battle between the bull and the bear. All right, let's go. What else we got going on over here? Let's figure it out together. Let's start going through the market and figuring out what we could find ourselves. Let's start over here with the Euro Canadian dollar and everything else green flagged over there. Let me see what's going on over here. I can't figure out. Oh, yeah. So I don't know why that was green flagged looking at this chart over here. Something, I don't know. Was it? I'm not sure. Wow. I guess I'm going to unflag it. We've looked at actually all the green flags. That's interesting. There was only a few things flagged last night, and that was like sniper precision stuff going on. This looks like it's doing nothing. Someone already noted the pound Japanese yen is still consolidating, but that means it's getting ready for a move. You could see the range it's in between the support and the resistance. Pound New Zealand dollar is also caught in that no man's land right now. And again, you have a range. I think the pound is going to wake up, and the pound versus the dollar continues to be the leader. The pound versus the dollar continues to be the leader. That's very interesting in my mind. What else do we got going on? The DAX 30. I mean, have we broken above that resistance yet? You could just see over here where my mouse is over here. You got some massive resistance over here, right? It's pretty big, right? A move above it. Not now. You're into resistance. Don't buy into resistance. If you clear above it, that opens up the opportunity. I've thrown out there the DAX could be the index of 2021. Jonathan, today we had the Canadian CPI rising. Tomorrow, Australian unemployment data is forecasted to be worse. A doji star in the daily candle will indicate a bearish move for the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. Listen, Jonathan, the one thing that I want to add to you over here, this is very important. Did you say on the daily, by the way? So, I mean, on the daily here, right now, this looks entirely bullish in the fact that you could see that we have broken out above that last bit of resistance and are currently retesting it. You see that? This is the break above the level into local resistance, the retest, and a resumption off is entirely bullish. But Jonathan, the one thing to share, and this is really important because I see that you're looking at what's up on the calendar. You're looking at what's next, right? And you're saying, hold on, bear with me 1 second, please. I don't know. I have to restart my computer, I guess. It's really weird. You're either which way, you're looking at the calendar, you're looking at what's next on the calendar, and you're trying to forecast what you believe that data print will be and how the market will react. I think it's you'll have a much easier time. It's much smarter, actually, instead of trying to predict what the data prints will be and how the market will react. Because often you could get like you could, for example, you could think that this employment number is going to come in better than expected and that the Australian dollar is going to like that. But the opposite happens. It's better to see what the print was and see how the market reacts. That's a better signal. It's a much better signal. Australian dollar, Canadian dollar rising wedge on the 8 hour. Maybe. I don't think so. It looks like a pretty uniform channel to me. What happens if we back up? Is that the rising wedge? I don't. It could be. I think I mean it could be. I'm not trying to say you're wrong because I don't think you're wrong. I don't know. But this looks a little bit more clearer to me. I just always revert to what's simple and easy. And if I don't see something or it doesn't like make sense or I try something and doesn't, then I just like let it go. You know? Just let it go. So I could talk about that because I have some orders in. So this is thanks, brother. Thanks, Matty. Absolutely, thank you. Let's go ahead and talk about this really quick right now. And the question is does anyone have any small, right? I think it was, small parts of their Bitcoin positions to close? And I do, right? And just hold on one second. It's very small. I'm looking to close a small amount of orders because I am looking now for that 30% pullback, right? And by the way, I was the one, if you look on Twitter, as price was 14, 15, 16, a lot of people were looking for that 30% pullback at that point. And I was saying, if you're looking for that 30% pullback right now, you're wrong. It's the wrong time of the cycle. That's not this, and that turned out to be true. But here I am looking for that 30% pullback, and I don't know that I'll be right. It is possible we trade up higher than I expected. Do I think we're going to 30,000? I don't think that happens. Is it possible we go 21,000? Yeah, But if we go to 21,000 and then pull back 30%, I'm going to be buying back in the small profit I'm taking lower than I'm selling it right now. My orders are in at, I think I'm being too cute. They're at 18,932. Let me show you the resistance line, right? Look at this is the line I'm tracking. This is my cloned line. Am I forcing these lines? I don't know, but the market sure is paying attention to them the whole way, right? Do you remember I had these lines in like all the way down over here? Oh, I've had this line in for since you know me on this channel, and then I've added cloned these lines in way before price started respecting them. Way before price started respecting them. And now we're into here, and I have my exit at the top. Because I've been telling you also for months, this is where I think that we run into a little bit of resistance right over in this line. And I have some small orders right there at 18,932. I think that I'm being too cute. I know a lot of traders, they know exactly where to put their stop loss. As a matter of fact, they know too perfectly, and they put their stop loss at that perfect spot. And a lot of traders see their stop losses taken out, and then price goes back in their direction, right? Easy correction, widen your stop loss, exaggerate that wideness so that you're now managing successful trades, and then learn where to put that stop loss more appropriately. The point is that just as a lot of traders know exactly where to put the stop loss, I know exactly where to put that take profit, but I'm probably being a little too cute with it, and probably a lower would have been a better exit, right? Do I think this is the top? I have no idea. And when I say top, do I think this is where we hit the 30% drawdown? I have no idea. But that's where I was looking to take a small bit of profit. Too cute, just missed it. I agree, D7. I agree. And then there's also like that human nature problem. Last night, it was, we were going to bed. And I was looking at price, and I'm like, man, should I just, do the things that I want to do over here or keep the orders in? And, I was tired, went to bed. So there you go. What else are we looking at right now? Let me catch up on the comments over there. All right. Let's pay attention. Kips, words of wisdom, paying attention to the markets with the weak dollar that are strong. Ooh, look at this. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Let's take a look at what's going on here with palladium, because it's getting ready to break out above that trend line over there. You see it? That's definitely green lit. I'm going to green light that for everyone. I'm not trading that. I don't trade it. I'm going to green light that though, so that we could follow this happening over here. You're looking not for the breakout, but you're looking for a retest and then a resumption. Always looking for that high probability trade. Also, we got platinum over here. Again, I can't find an entry onto there. Look at this though. So we were tracking this channel over here, right? And this was the indication that we broke out. And then yesterday, this is where we were. I was like, well, I don't have a retest. Is this a retest? And look where the line is. Like, if you were focused in on this market, I obviously was not. If you were focused in on this market, do you not see where my mouse is right now? How that's support, right? It's very clear line. Let's draw it. Let's put it up there. It's a very clear line. And now you are resuming up off of there in that London session today. So for anyone who was involved or is involved, that's how the trade works. Do you hear that, Alec? I love having all the kids around. I love the life in the house. It's beautiful. Wow, that's dangerous. That's beautiful, James. Yeah, I use multiple brokers, but I trade off MT4. I haven't traded off Oanda in about 17, 18 years. But I think Oanda is phenomenal. And they were back then as well. And they've only improved. Oanda is a fantastic broker. It's also really interesting because you could trade off TradingView, except if you live in Europe, off of Oanda, connected to Oanda. And when you pull up a buy or sell box, what's really cool is that to put in the risk per trade and the position sizing could not be any easier. It's the easiest thing in the world. Oanda is a highly recommended broker for sure. Jordan, I sent you a 5-year trend line on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Nikita, make sure you tag me. I don't remember seeing that. Make sure you tag me. You know, do the @ symbol and then my name. There is the 5-year trend line you're looking at over here. Let's take a look. I like the visible watermark because we're not looking at any price action over here in the middle. Right? We're looking at what's going on over here. And that way everyone can easily follow what I'm following and know what we're looking at. So over here, you have that 5-year trend line starting over here and connecting down over here. And you can see that this has become resistance again. Is it possible to say that we're in a downtrend? Well, if you're a position trader, you're in a downtrend. If you're a swing trader, right? Are you in an uptrend or a downtrend? I'm in an uptrend, right? So as a swing trader and paying attention to that 5-year line, what am I looking for? Well, as a swing trader, I'm in an uptrend. I'm not looking to sell here. Could you sell here? Yeah. I know a lot of you all who do that. That's not my nature. That's not what I do. I'm just like, if price breaks above that trend line, right? Above that support, that's going to be a big green light for me. I'm going to be all over that. But right now, and I also know that the Japanese yen has been so weak, right? That's like an ongoing trend. I don't want to take a position in favor of the yen right now. Now, could that change? Yeah, I talked about the great risk in the market. I don't know how much the market's paying attention to what is going on. But right now, basically the elections in the courts and a decision could change drastically the landscape. So I'm forcing something there, but I have that trend line. So what about right over here, rising out back above that? Would that even been a long entry today? Would I take the long entry going into the resistance all day long? I would. As long as you have a 1-to-1 risk reward, as long as you have a 1-to-1 risk reward going into the trade, into the 1-to-1 this is the resistance, right? So as long as my stop loss is, see right below the channel, that's a 1-to-1 risk reward. I'll take that all day because I don't take profit ever into the first resistance when buying. Ever. A small piece, of course, That's people should know what the level is over there. But we're looking to push this multiple levels and looking to move a stop loss to break even as you get into that level. That automatically now improves my overall risk to reward. And then the trades that do work out vastly increase my overall risk to reward. A lot of traders run into the issue where when they're like, oh, I know I need a better than 1-to-1 risk reward. You should have overall, greater than a 2-to-1 risk reward. But that doesn't mean going into the trade you need to have a 2-to-1 risk reward or 3-to-1 risk reward or 4-to-1 risk reward. And that's what a lot of traders try to set up as they go into the trade. Yeah, that's true, right? A 30% pullback right now would take us to, I think, 12,800. I don't know. Well, I mean, Bitcoin's down 0.5%, So if I look at Bitcoin on a 3-day time frame, look, I don't know. All as I can say is I've said and I've been saying until we get between 18,000 and above is when I first believed the first 30% pullback could come. Is it coming? I have no idea. I cannot predict the future. But Jordan, you said Bitcoin would trade at 18,000 by the end of the year. Yeah, well, that's different. But I don't know, and I never will know when that 30% pullback is coming ahead of time. That I cannot, that's impossible. I did say though, 18,000 above is when I'm looking for that first 30% pullback. Is it happening now? I have no idea. Thomas, looking at the Euro Canadian dollar. Let's take a look at what we got going on over here. Trying to see what Thomas is actually looking at over here. What's going on? I don't have a read on it. The only thing that I see is this line over here that, and this horizontal support. But by the way, let me just fall back now to Bitcoin, and I want to go back to where we are at this point right here today. At this point, right, focus on this line right now. This is the Heath line. This was the last swing high. When I say last swing high, I mean over here. Before the halving, it was the last swing high before the halving. Right? And then since, notice how quickly we have come up into that. We didn't hit new all-time highs, but approaching it. The last time that happened in the cycle, this is the last swing line over here before the halving, right? As price, look at how many days it took us to get up there. It's about the same. It's really about the same, right? That was the first 30% pullback. That's why I'm looking between 18 and 21,000 for that first 30% pullback. I've never traded an option in my whole life. In my 20 year plus career, I've never traded an option because unless you understand options, you have no business trading them. I don't understand them. I don't understand how to price an option. I don't understand. I don't have that feel for how time decay works. I make my money in spot, and that's what I know. That's what I consider myself to be an expert at, and that's what I do. But I've never traded an option in my life, and that's true too. By the way, don't get. First of all right. Here's the most important thing I'm going to say all session, and it's been a very good session, by the way. 800 likes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. For real. But this is so important. It needs a healthy pullback, and we've been going straight up. Here's the 3-day time frame, and we've been going straight up, all green bars. That's not sustainable, right? So instead of worrying, here's the thing. If this is a 30% pullback, so what? Right? That's the game plan. That's the game plan. Bitcoin, first of all, is right on time. This is exactly where it was predicted to be at this time. It's right on time, right? So if you have a 30% pullback, go back to the video on the Bitcoin playlist, 3 ways to trade the Bitcoin bull market. That's what we're waiting for. 12,800. That's exactly what I just said. Look at that. Look at how beautiful, by the way, that would be. Technically, a pullback into this area over here, which you could see the market just made resistance, break. Let's come back and retest it. That would be beautiful. They would be so bullish, it's ridiculous. If that happens now, or if it happens after Bitcoin moves up another couple of $1,000s, it's all the same thing, right? It's the next thing we're looking for in this as this bull market unfolds. Now that we've reached 18,000, we're now looking for the 30% pullback. I don't know when it's going to happen. Who cares, right? It doesn't matter if Bitcoin's dumping here. There's nothing to get emotional about. That's the next step on the roadmap. Like, go 100 yards and make a right. Now go 100 yards and make a left, right? Breakout of the trend line. Retest, resumption. Hit 18,000 and or above, 30% pullback. So next time we get a 30% pullback, that's the next time that we act. Now, could some people like myself be looking to take a little bit of profit? Yeah, that's option 2 of the 3 ways to trade the Bitcoin bull market, right? That's a little bit more advanced. It's definitely harder. I'm sorry, that's option 3. In option 2, you only buy the 30% pullbacks. The most effective way to trade it, right? Just buy the 30% pullbacks. Option 3, the most difficult, trading in and out of it a little while. Peter, Jordan, how far could it go after that? I have it going to $140,000. I mean, 160 is how I did the math. But 140, I won't sell until I believe it's the top. I have some ideas of how we're going to find that top together. I'm going to be showing that. Let me just show you really quick. Let me pull up my Bitcoin chart. That's amazing. The vaccine is 90%, 95% effective versus a virus, right? That is, you have a 99.4, 99.97 chance of recovering fully. That's excellent. Is it stupid not to be taking? Yeah, I don't think it's stupid not to be taking profit at Bitcoin right now whatsoever at all. I think it's the smart thing to do. Jeff, just go back, go to the Bitcoin playlist channel, watch the first video. 3 ways to trade the Bitcoin bull market. Not at all. Actually, you should not be selling, right? What you should be doing is either looking to go ahead and play only 30% pullbacks either looking to hold the whole bull market, the easiest and best way to do it, and or only looking the second way to buy the 30% pullbacks. The third way, the hardest, the most difficult, is looking to exit. And I give you a really good way after Bitcoin makes the new all-time highs to look to exit, right? About 150% gain after the 30% drawdown from the low. Watch the video. It's going to articulate it well. This is called the Pi Cycle Indicator. It comes from lookonbitcoin.com. Loointobitcoin.com. And if you go back to the past top, right, over here, as you get the yellow line crossing the green line, that is the exact best exit signal that you could get that I've ever seen on Bitcoin. And if you go back to the previous cycle before it, same exact thing on that cross. That is, as price goes parabolic, that is the best exit I've seen or know of on Bitcoin. So I'm not exiting at 140. I'm going to try to get out as close to the top as possible. I'll help you all through it. Is it institutional FOMO? Institutionals will be FOMOing in much higher. 50,000 Bitcoin and above, institutions will FOMO in. Institutions are not FOMOing in right now. The only ones, I mean, look at MicroStrategy, Michael Seiler. If you haven't seen his Real Vision interview, do watch it. The guy must be looking like, on Wall Street right now. He bought $450 million worth of Bitcoin that now is almost doubled in a matter of months. That's some pretty nice stuff right there. I don't have a link. But I will be sharing with you as we're towards that height of the bull market when we're getting out. I also have it as a time-based. I shared a tweet where if you look at the past 2 cycles, you take the low before the halving and count how many days to the halving, less 2%. That's exactly how many days to the peak of the bull market. This one is expected to be September 21st. September 21st, 2021. So that's another guide I will be using to look for the top of the bull market, right? Are cycles lengthening or shorting? You heard it here. They're shortening. They're not lengthening. All right, everyone. 2021, September could be, initially I was figuring December in that area, the fall to winter of 2021, 140,000. I don't think that's the top, but that's what my target is. Monero's been leading for a long time. We haven't looked at it in a long time. What's it doing right now? Let me get off this. Hold on one second. Let's look at Monero. I don't remember. I would have to go back over here, the 12th of November, see what we were talking about over there when we put that line in. I don't know. But yeah, Monero looks fantastic. There's nothing else to say about it, right? And it's been one of the leaders, right, of this bull market. And the reason being is because it has a great use case. I don't know whether or not, the IRS has paid a $600,000 bounty to 2 different companies to try to crack the encryption on Monero. Is it possible that one day that it's cracked? I have no idea. Yeah, Will, good to see you, brother. Good to see you, Will. There it is. And that's it. We're going to go with some music. Great session, everyone. Really got a lot out of it. Really enjoyed it. Thank you for it. That's awesome, Gary. Thank you. Look, Dale, we could just follow what's going on technically with gold, and all we know that right now it's below this area over here, which was support, now resistance. So we're not looking to get interested to buying gold until it breaks back above that trend line, and specifically back above 1914. That gold line over here is gold because above it, it's golden again. God bless you too, Alan. God bless you all. God bless you all and all your loved ones. Thank you so much for that. I definitely am grateful. Look at that. Look at that right there up in the mountains. That's beautiful, beautiful avatar right there. That was an hour. Yeah, that did flow by. That was a great one. There is, Craig, I'm going to send out an email right now. Training session is going to be tomorrow, right after the live stream at 10:30 a.m. Unless, actually, we should probably do one later in the evening for the Australian crew. I'm not sure what it's going to be. I'm going to figure that out over the next couple hours and send out an email. Yeah, 2021. Thanks, Brian. Bitcoin is down 1%. Man. Bitcoin's down 1.2%. That's not crashing in my book. Yeah, down 15, 20, 25, 30% is crashing. Thank you, Gemma. That's beautiful. Thank you. It's not my light. You know that, Gemma. It's not my light. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day, everyone. I'll speak to you in the afternoon and see you tomorrow.